I could be anybody you want me to be. You want me to be in a scary movie? You want me to play a girl screaming and scream? Ah! I can do all of that. I need to put on a gun belt. I want to go down the dark alleys. I want to jump over the fence. I want to hurt myself in these movies.
You want to do your own stuff?
I want to have sex in the movies, not real but I want to look like I am.
Okay.
After learning that she would receive a life sentence, did Jackie Christie actually just pass out in the middle of the courtroom? Is this just the dramatic conclusion that no one anticipated but that everyone secretly hoped for? Or are we seeing the ultimate plot twist of a reality TV turned real-life criminal saga? This isn't your typical basketball wife outburst, let's face it. We're discussing screams and tears, a courtroom with Jackie hitting the floor and everyone gasping. It was her own scandalous spin-off season finale. She's calm and prepared for the camera one moment, and then she's down as a judge drops the gavel and declares that life means life the next. But hold on, it gets even more juicy. How did this footage leak when the cameras weren't even supposed to be rolling? Why is Mona Scott allegedly running out of the courtroom with her face covered, and who gave the press the tip? Yes, fasten your seatbelts because what we're going to discover is more significant than treachery, bad wigs, and high-end shoes. It's a tale of financial manipulation and the final collapse. But honey, you thought Jackie was controversial before? This is a completely different level. Let's begin. It felt like the conclusion of a twisted reality TV show from the minute Jackie Christie entered the courtroom, but this time the drama wasn't predetermined and the repercussions weren't short-lived. Jackie, who was dressed entirely in black and appeared to be attending the funeral of her own reputation, had no idea that the bombshell she was about to deliver would rock the courtroom to its foundation. Whispers were flying, cameras were flashing, and then suddenly a life sentence. But first, let's go back in time. How did we end up here at all? How did the queen of chaos, Jackie Christie, go from dominating the basketball drama circuit to crumbling in court after receiving a sentence that would outlast the reruns of most reality shows? Behind-the-scenes betrayals, a trail of dirty money, and a web of lies so dense that it would make a spider envious are the answers. Let's start by discussing Jackie's lengthy history of dubious activities. This wasn't just a oopsie situation, rather, it was your decades-long process of gradually creating a clandestine empire through the use of offshore accounts, phony charities, shell corporations, and celebrity status. The signs were everywhere, and we're talking about a full-blown fraud on the scale of a Netflix documentary. We simply missed it because we were too preoccupied with her yelling at the cast during brunch. Do you recall the wellness retreat she started in 2022? It was only a front, it turns out. According to sources, there were no licensed staff members or therapists at the purported wellness retreat, and there was no wellness whatsoever. Rather, it was said to have been used as a front for wire transfers, laundering money using a donation model that would have made even the most audacious con artist blush. According to one insider, people believed they were funding private jets, yoga, and empowerment seminars, to name just a few. Why were her offshore accounts being empowered? When a suspicious $3,290,000 0-cents transfer appeared on a flag server in the Cayman Islands, it appears that the government finally noticed. Everything took off from there, and you know who was assisting her? We're talking about influencers, former roommates, and even a well-known singer who is currently feigning vacation while his name is being whispered in sealed indictments. Not just assistants and interns, mind you. Yes, this is much more than just Jackie. Journalists, influencers, and former gang members wearing sunglasses were all crammed into the courtroom. You could practically hear gas as the judge pronounced the sentence: life in prison without the possibility of parole for financial treason, money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud the state, because everyone wanted a piece of this moment. The loudest response came from Jackie herself, as one person in the gallery fainted and another dropped their phone. Her knees buckled, her eyes rolled back, and she fell to the ground like she was in a telenovela. After paramedics arrived quickly, the situation quickly escalated into a medical emergency. Some whispered about stage tricks, while others said it was a panic attack. In any case, the judge said unemotionally, "This court does not entertain dramatics." This statement is accurate, but it gets even more complicated because this collapse was more than just an emotional breakdown. According to insiders, Jackie was tipped off the previous evening. Despite being warned by an unnamed source that she might face life in prison, she allegedly refused to accept a plea bargain. Why? Because Jackie believed she would never be found guilty, according to sources. She believed she would be protected by her fame. Only too many reunion specials and insufficient reality checks can cause that kind of delusion. Although Jackie was the public face of the scandal, she wasn't acting alone, so let's zoom out a bit. Oh no, there are rumors of a celebrity laundering ring, and this was a full-scale operation. Yes, that's what they're calling it now. It reportedly involves 2 social media influencers, 3 other reality TV stars, and a startlingly familiar housewife who hasn't commented yet. Jackie's business dealings date back to 2016, when she initially joined forces with a global consulting firm that has since been revealed to be a money laundering front, according to court documents that have been leaked. That company has direct connections to fraudulent PPP loans, phony cryptocurrency, and corrupt real estate investments in Dubai. Jackie had every badge in the scam starter pack. In one instance, a company that doesn't even have a website received a $600,000 0-cent brand consulting fee, which sparked controversy. Prosecutors claim that the funds were transferred through 6 different nations before ending up in an account under the fictitious name JC Enterprises. Is it a coincidence? Not at all, Jackie. We all know that Christie is JC Enterprises. She and the federal government were aware of it, but she continued to act as though there had been a misunderstanding. As a result, her empire is collapsing, her brands are suspended, her partnerships are ending, and her fan base is split. Speaking anonymously, a former assistant disclosed that she always believed she was untouchable. "They can't lock up the queen," she used to say. "Instead of crowns, the queen now wears bars." Following the courtroom collapse, the online community exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like courtroom chaos and Jackie Falls became popular. Social media was inundated with memes, with users sharing gifs of Oscar-winning meltdowns alongside videos of the collapse. Some weren't laughing, but others referred to it as the performance of the decade. "There's nothing funny about that," said one post that went viral. "She played the victim, deceived her followers, and stole from vulnerable people." Another, purportedly from a close friend of the past, the tweet simply read, "I told her this day would come. She didn't listen." Additionally, legal experts were analyzing the sentence's significance while fans were taking sides. According to one expert, this establishes a precedent. If a celebrity escapes punishment for financial crimes, it serves as a warning to all influencers who believe they are above the law. However, the information presented in court today was only the beginning, so this case is far from over. Near the end of the hearing, prosecutors dropped a subtle bombshell that was hardly noticed in the confusion. In relation to the Christie investigation, more indictments are anticipated. Translation: if what we're hearing is accurate, Jackie may have been the first domino to fall in a much bigger house of cards, and more heads will roll. What occurs next? A rabbit hole goes deeper in part 2, and you won't be prepared for the names connected to the scandal. You were mistaken if you believed that the drama had ended when Jackie Christie passed out in that courtroom. That was only the start of a much darker tale that has shocked reality TV viewers, the criminal justice system, and Hollywood. The once glitzy world of reality stars, fancy cars, and private jets is now being torn apart, revealing some genuinely unpleasant truths that no one ever saw coming. This is the startling new development as the shockwaves from Jackie's sentence continue to spread. The most important question that still hasn't been addressed is how serious this scandal actually is. Because a whole new level of deceit was discovered when the authorities eventually looked into Jackie's affairs. Jackie wasn't merely laundering money, no. She was running a dishonest empire, and this wasn't a side gig either. This was a planned, multi-year operation involving a whole network of participants, some of whom are only now changing their minds. According to a source familiar with the investigation, let's begin with Jackie's contacts in the shadowy world of entertainment finance. A well-known Hollywood producer who is renowned for creating movies about criminal families was Jackie's business partner. He may have been living one out in real life, it turns out. This producer, whose name we won't reveal just yet, is accused of using his connections to channel illegal funds through his film projects in order to assist Jackie in concealing her financial activities. It was a full-fledged criminal collaboration rather than merely a partnership. According to sources, the producer laundered money through backdoor deals for films that were never made. How does that operate? The purpose of these so-called movies was to finance the production expenses and then transfer the funds to a series of accounts connected to Jackie's network. These movies served as a front, a way to make millions of dollars without drawing the typical financial attention. Nobody knew that the money that had been spent on these fictitious movies had disappeared. The plot gets more complex as if that weren't enough. Jackie was in contact with a number of well-known influencers who were allegedly involved in arranging fictitious advertising deals for goods that were never delivered, according to leaked emails from one of her business associates. Less than 6 months ago. One email was sent, correct? Payments are being processed, the campaign is proceeding without hiccups, and the products will eventually be shipped. For the time being, let's keep this under wraps. This is the really unsettling part of the download process. With her quick-witted, affable demeanor, Jackie was persuading some of the most well-known influencers to promote luxury goods that didn't exist, such as expensive watches, designer handbags, and vacation packs. Unbeknownst to them, these influencers were aiding Jackie in defrauding her fans of thousands of dollars by endorsing phony goods that would never be delivered. But let's go back to that Hollywood producer. Some of them were allegedly promised backdoor deals for the promotional content they created, including special kickbacks that came directly from the fraudulent transactions. What exactly was his role in this whole thing? As it turns out, he was more than just a financial accomplice. There is mounting evidence that suggests he was among Jackie's staunchest allies throughout the trial. We're discussing expensive attorneys that the producer allegedly paid to ensure Jackie's safety as the investigation progressed. Was he covering his own back? Or was this an act of kindness? According to some legal experts, it was the latter. An unsettling admission was made by one source who says they were a member of the inner circle. Making sure Jackie didn't sing was more important than saving her. Which brings us to the next terrifying aspect of the narrative: Jackie's connections to an increasing number of people who may not have been as devoted to her as they seemed. A string of shocking revelations that could be the last straw for Jackie are set to reveal these connections. We're discussing the disclosure of some incredibly startling details about her involvement in organized financial crimes by former allies, co-workers, and people she trusted. Jackie always had a way of making people feel like they owed her something. According to a former employee who worked with her for more than 10 years, that was part of her control. She would make sure you never worked again if you said no. The crux of this whole scheme lies in this type of control and manipulation, which prosecutors are now taking very seriously. But here's the really bad news. Under everyone's nose, Jackie has been leading this double life. Behind closed doors, she was the mastermind of a financial empire based on deceit, manipulation, and lies. To the public, she was a reality TV star, the endearing mother on Basketball Wives, and the woman who made us laugh and cry on screen. As the courtroom drama plays out, this is where the legal system enters the picture. The list of possible conspirators continues to grow in number. Jackie faces more than just money laundering charges. She is also accused of bribery, illegal campaign donations, and witness tampering, all of which are still being looked into. In addition to the money, every new report reveals a darker side of Jackie's business dealings that had been concealed for years. Yes, the cash. It was disclosed in the weeks preceding the trial that Jackie had moved millions of dollars to foreign accounts just days prior to her sentencing. Indeed, a report that came to light a few hours ago verified that Jackie had allegedly transferred more than $1 million, 0 cents, to a Luxembourg-based shell company just days prior to the start of her trial. The current issue is whether these funds will ever be retrieved or if they have already been transferred abroad by individuals far more dangerous than Jackie could ever be on her own. What will happen to Jackie Christie next? This case is far from being resolved, though. Actually, a lot of experts think that what we've observed thus far is only the beginning. Her financial activities are being investigated further, and she may face additional charges that go well beyond the courtroom and into the realm of Hollywood elites. Jackie may have believed that by pretending to be the victim and hiding behind her fame, she could get away with it, but the law isn't cooperating this time. We'll go even further into the fallout, the public's response, and the ultimate repercussions of Jackie's actions in Part 3, so stay tuned. We promise that you won't want to miss the moment as Jackie Christie's story unfolds and the consequences of her shocking courtroom collapse continue to intensify. The glitzy reality star who appeared untouchable is now dealing with the fallout from her deeds, and the media frenzy surrounding her is intensifying to previously unheard of proportions. What comes next then? Let's examine the fallout in detail and consider the ramifications Jackie is likely to experience in the legal system, as well as in the court of public opinion. First and foremost, Jackie's legal team is working feverishly to restore her reputation. Once the queen of reality TV drama, Jackie is now learning that the real world operates differently. Based on legal professionals, the main tactic used by her defense team is to portray Jackie as a victim of a broken system. They have been making every effort to minimize the seriousness of her behavior by claiming that she was duped or coerced into engaging in the unlawful activities that have dominated her life for the past 10 years. But the problem is that this isn't working. The public is becoming increasingly impatient, and the evidence against Jackie is overwhelming, so no one is buying the sob story anymore. The defense team may be considering a plea agreement according to a leaked memo from one of her attorneys that came to light last night. Yes, Jackie might simply make a deal to avoid receiving a more severe punishment, but there's a catch. She may have to rat out some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry if she cooperates. Things start to get really interesting at this point. According to people familiar with the investigation, Jackie is prepared to come clean about her past partners, the powerful Hollywood people who assisted her in hiding her illegal activities in the coming weeks. Since the walls are closing in, Jackie must decide whether to defend herself and expose the industry insiders who assisted her or face the consequences. The truth is that she has been leading an extravagant life for so long that it's difficult to believe she didn't think she would get away with it. Speaking of business insiders, there are rumors that some of Jackie's famous pals are frantically trying to cut ties with her after realizing they could be entangled in her web of lies. According to reports, some well-known figures are secretly assisting investigators by providing information in return for immunity. Now everything is becoming clear. The same individuals who once surrounded Jackie and aided in her ascent to fame are now protecting themselves. After all, Hollywood has a history of consuming people and discarding them when they are no longer valuable, and Jackie is discovering how true that is. However, this is about more than just Jackie's legal drama. It's about her career's future, or perhaps more accurately, its demise. What remains for someone who has been exposed as a criminal, a liar, and a fraud in public? Given everything that has come to light and the damaged public trust, it is difficult to see anyone wanting to collaborate with her. No matter how many times she tweets an apology or breaks down in tears during an interview, it makes no difference. Nothing can undo the harm she has caused. She has damaged relationships with fans, other celebrities, and anyone who once looked up to her as an inspiration. The effects of the fallout are already being felt. According to reports, the once popular Basketball Wives franchise is in discussions to completely break ties with Jackie. After everything that has happened, it will be difficult for anyone to be excited about seeing Jackie on TV again. Even her devoted fans are now questioning their loyalty. Producers are discreetly debating how they can phase out her character or write her off the show without losing too many fans. Everyone is wondering whether Jackie Christie is now a villain or a victim. Let's get back to the legal aspect. According to numerous experts, Jackie may be facing significant financial penalties in addition to a prison sentence. These days, it's not just about jail time. It's also about the alleged millions of dollars that were taken, the lives that were lost, and the companies she destroyed in the process. Asset forfeiture is being discussed, and Jackie will have a rude awakening if she believes she could conceal her wealth by using offshore accounts and phony companies. Given the ongoing investigation into her finances, it appears increasingly likely that the federal government will find every last dollar, and Jackie may be forced to surrender every last penny she has earned from her illicit activities. Not to be overlooked are the people who were duped by Jackie's fraudulent business dealings. The fans who sent money in exchange for luxury goods they would never receive, and the influencers who unwittingly promoted fake goods are probably the ones who will sue Jackie to recover their losses. Although the precise amount of money she stole from innocent people may never be known, it is safe to assume that it will be enormous. According to some estimates, Jackie might have to pay tens of millions of dollars in restitution. Another sad outcome is the emotional toll on Jackie's family. Her children are now left to pick up the pieces of their broken lives after growing up in the spotlight. Although Jackie may be facing legal repercussions, her family is now also dealing with the fallout from her actions. They didn't ask for any of this. They didn't ask to be thrown into a world of corruption and dishonesty. Jackie will have to deal with this for the rest of her life, but the real question is, what does Jackie Christie's future hold? Is this the end of her career, her reputation, and everything she has worked for? Or will she ever be able to move past this devastating scandal? In actuality, it's difficult to say. After experiencing something like this, some people never fully recover, while others disappear into obscurity and are never heard from again. However, Jackie is a survivor and not your typical celebrity. It remains to be seen if she will make it through this, but one thing is certain: Jackie Christie's demise will be remembered as one of the most astounding, startling, and scandalous stories Hollywood has ever heard. However, this is not yet finished. More scandals and leaks. There will be more twists. Watch this space for the next installment of Jackie Christie's shocking demise. Will she accept the consequences, or will she find a way to avoid them? Time will tell, but one thing is certain: we'll be here to provide you with every astounding detail as it happens. Is it not unbelievable? After hearing her life sentence, Jackie Christie, the woman who believed she could elude justice, broke down in court. This scandal recently hit an all-time high. Hello, and believe me, things will only get more bizarre from here on out. However, the true question is who else is involved? Who is genuinely responsible for this corruption? Are there any more shocking secrets that need to be revealed? Please share your thoughts with me. Will she make another incredible escape, or was this the start of the end for her? What other secrets are concealed in her closet that we are currently unaware of? I promise you that this story is far from over and that the twists are only beginning, so feel free to share your most outrageous theories in the comment section below. Make sure to hit the like button if this shocking video left you feeling completely shaken. Let's see if this is so crazy that we can take down the internet. What are you waiting for to subscribe if you haven't already? To be the first to know about the next shocking update, hit the subscribe button. What comes next is something you won't want to miss. Because the truth is out there and we're only beginning. Stay vigilant, stay ruthless, and most importantly, stay tuned